We're back. I promised you all a tent review, and this is the tent in question. The Nortent Vern 1 2024. I can't fault it. You all saw on my last video the hammering it took, because it did take a hammering. We wasn't sure on the exact wind, however the Met Office forecast around 55 mile an hour gusts, and I'd just like to reiterate, I didn't have a wind detector, those little spinny dials. That was just purely off Met Office, so don't take that wind for ransom. But so I'm going to show you around the tent, give you some statistics, what the tent consists of, and then we're going to do a bit at the end about what I'm going to be taking out this winter, because this winter I'm really gonna give it some. Right then, let's get into the specs. So it goes without saying that this is a 4-season tent. It's for the winter, it's for the snow, it's for the mountains, it's for the rain. It's one of the hardest you're going to get. Now, in terms of what it's classed, in terms of capacity, it's 1.5 person. But that just simply means that it's one person, but you've got a bit of room. Because when you've got your bags and all that in there, it's a one man. Now, in terms of the sheet, you got a 3000mm hydrostatic head. Now, that might not mean something to everyone, that's alright. But if I was to say to you 1500mm is classed as waterproof, then you're going to stay dry, don't worry. Now, there is 18 pegging points, and when you buy the tent you can choose what pegs you'd like. So there's 3 stages of pegs, each getting more what you call heavy duty after the other. It comes in at 2.3 kilograms. However, if you buy extras and the more heavy weighing pegs, it goes up to 2.6, which isn't a great deal. It's still light for that sort of tent that you're getting. The height from top to bottom, it's bang on a metre. The length front to back, you're looking at 260 centimetres, and the width side to side, it's 2 metres. So it's a big tent. Now, these poles come in at 9.5mm, which are really, really strong. And just the way that they bend around the tent gives it a great shape against that wind. Now, as you can see, we've got a nice little canopy here. Now, this was added for those wet days where the rain will run off the top and onto this bit here, and it's going to run down here and off. Now, these things glow. Now, I didn't know this until my last camp. There's a little glow stick, which I can only describe it as, around the zips throughout the entire tent, which serve amazingly in the dark. This here is one of the reasons why Nortent is amazing when it comes to attention to detail. Now, this is so handy, as I'm about to show you what this does. So when you're opening your vestibule in most tents, you've got to roll it up and tie it, but with this we come up over the top and it attaches nicely onto the opposing side. Now, here's another cracking design feature that Nortent have added. So not all of us can tie one of those fancy little knots where you just pull it and it comes undone. However, we can all do this. So if you just get the rope, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll it up between my fingers, like this. So we just get like a nice little thing there. And now this comes over that loop and ties. It's a bit fiddly. Done. You don't have to worry about that now. Now, isn't that amazing? Saves so much time getting those knots. And they're just easy to access. Let's take a look inside. And we're in. It's so spacious, it's unreal. Now, Nortent recommends that you could easily fit a sleeping pad of 190 by 60 centimetres, which is big. Now, at 6'1", I can sit here cross-legged and straighten my back completely out, and if I go to the centre of the tent on the inner, my head's not touching. It might be like a couple millimetres out, but I've got headroom, which is rare with a one-man tent, especially a 4-season. So you can't complain about room in this tent. And the vestibule's just as good. Now, from the longest point between the inner and the zips, your vestibule's 65 centimetres. That's plenty when it comes to vestibules. To the point where you could have one door open in bad weather and you could cook in this area very easily. Which is another reason why I got this tent for my 4-season. Because in those camps that are going to require me to take shelter, I can still cook. Which is, it's a no-brainer for me. Now, here's our ground sheet. This is an extra. I just bought it because with a ground sheet I get a bit more waterproofing on the inner. Now, some people are worried that when you have to peg this out first, or put this out first, that it can blow away and it's just a faff. However, there's a trick where you can attach it to the tent itself. Now, I'm going to show you that trick because it's so handy and the whole tent just goes up in one. So I'm going to try and make this as easy to understand as possible. So the inner, which is here, attaches to the outer on this clip. Now, if I undo this clip, the inner comes away. However, the ground sheet comes with these little hoops, which I presume they use for pegging out. However, you can pull this through the hoop and attach it to the outer at that clip. Which then, if you do that all the way around, you're going to attach the ground sheet. Now, they all do that, however the front one is a bit different. So with the Nortent, because of the extreme weathers that they presume you're going to use it in, you get these little hooks. If I was coming on it, you see it there? It's a little hook, it's like a clip. Now that clip there is technically for the zip to attach to so that it doesn't blow open. However, you attach this loop into that clip, it holds it. Right, so I just wanted you to understand the serious space that you have in this tent. Now at 6'1", my feet are touching the bottom of the tent there. And that's how much room I've got above my head. There's so much room. And then I sit up and we've got that much from the inner, which you can't complain about. So as I was talking about earlier with the zips, it's in the inside as well. So in the middle of the night, if you want to undo or do up the ventilation zips, you can see where they are because they glow. Now we've got one of these this end and we've got another, the opposite end in the exact same place, which provides excellent ventilation, and you get next to no condensation inside the inner in the morning, which is a win-win. Now inside the tent we've got multiple pockets for different things that you might need. So you've got one at the head end, you've got one here which some people just use to tuck the inner door in. We've got one or two here which are only small, but they hold things. And there's your one at the foot of the tent. In terms of storage, we've also got a clothing line here that runs across the top. Now that's for drying things that might be wet that you need in the morning, which is another excellent design feature in my opinion. But once again guys, thanks for watching. I hope this has been insightful for you that are looking at the Nortent, and I'll see you next time. Remember to like and subscribe.